नमस्कार, सुस्वागतम। स्वागत नहीं करेंगे हमारा, शेर दिल पर स्वागत करती हूँ मैं स्मृति, आप सभी का लेकर आ गए एक बार फिर से हम सीजन 2। आज हमारे साथ जो मेहमान बैठे हैं वो एक जबरदस्त फैशन डिजाइनर है।
शेर दिल विद स्मृति।
सच सच बताऊं, मुझे ना कभी मौका मिला नहीं कोई भी डिजाइनर के, बड़े डिजाइनर के कपड़े को पहनने के लिए। इनफैक्ट आज जो हमारे साथ मेहमान आए हैं, ही इज द वन जिन्होंने मुझे पहनाया जिंदगी का पहला डिजाइनर अटायर, बर्थडे में गिफ्ट किया था। He is जोरदार तालियां, the one and only eminent fashion designer of the country, अभिषेक दत्ता। अभिषेक, बहुत बहुत स्वागत करती हूँ शेर दिल पर। थैंक यू कि तुमने अग्री कर लिया, बहुत मनाना पड़ा तुमको, यू नो दैट। चलो बताओ अपने इनिशियल डेज के बारे में, हाउ डिड इट ऑल स्टार्ट फॉर यू?
The starting of my career was pretty strange because I was a science student and had been studying science since my childhood. And though people think that designers go into fashion because they're not good with studies, I was the opposite and never thought I'll be in this line. But incidentally, I was sitting for IIT and JEE and didn't get through. And my mom got in a form for fashion college where I thought, let me try out a semester. If I like it, I'll continue with it. But within a month, I knew this is the career I want to focus on and I'm good with. And back of my mind, I always wanted to do something creative and something out of the box. And I think that's how I got into fashion.
Okay, अभिषेक, मुझे तुम्हारी करंट लाइफ के बारे में बहुत कुछ पता है, लेकिन मुझे ये नहीं पता है कि तुमने जब इंडस्ट्री में शुरुआत की थी तो what kind of struggles you had to face?
I had actually initially launched my brand with some financer who wanted to launch it together, but it didn't work out. Like first couple of years of my career actually go for a waste because we started with a different label. Finally, I launched my own brand by myself with small little investment, which I actually with 2 tailors and 1 embroider in one of the garages of mine where we set up the production unit, and with a small little investment which I actually acquired from freelancing with other brands and other boutiques that point of time. So that's how I actually started off my own brand. This fashion actually requires a lot of funding when you try to make a collection or launch your own brand. So that was missing that point of time. I did the Femina Miss India initially at 2001, couple of other exhibits and fairs and all of that. Started with designer stores like Ogan and stuff. But there is a lot of struggle which came through, and finally in 2004 I got through the Bali Fashion Week, and 2006 I had my first Lakme India Fashion Week actually flagged off where I got the best debut, and then incidentally I showcased at Wills India Fashion Week where also my collection was selected for Tranai Paris.
Did you ever feel like quitting? सच बोलना यार, be honest. सबके साथ होता है, बता।
I never actually felt like quitting because that is something which is not in me. I never quit. There might be incidents where I was working on a collection and I wanted to change it all over, where you are not satisfied with your work, you want to start it all over again, because I wanted to go like deep into it and still are. And I have always fascinated with related things like technology, getting into fashion. There are a lot of incidents which has happened ki I had started something like a newer trend which is way before time. The mask which I showcased in Lakme Fashion Week was way before actually masks become a trend for COVID. We have been promoting sustainability before the word actually becomes so popular. So never in my life I thought of quitting, but I have always tried to do things before time for sure.
তুমি তো पंचमदा एवरग्रीन হয়ে গেছো না। Indeed, I know and we all know that, dear अभिषेक। चलो अब बातें करते हैं बेस्ट शो के बारे में, मोस्ट मेमोरेबिलिटी। अच्छा, दोनों बताओ।
I think I'm yet to do the best one. In fact, last couple of years post-COVID, we have started doing things which are out of the box and choosing different venues and different themes and taking the show to a different level altogether. I think the start of my career when I actually went for the first big show of mine when I was just passing out as a student was Smirnoff International Fashion Week, where I went to Bombay for the national showcase, and there was a horde of supermodels out there at that point of time. Seeing them like first time experiencing that kind of a mega show was definitely a memorable memory which I have.
International Fashion Week, wow, that's amazing. Many more to come. ऐसे बहुत सारे memories तुमको बना रहे हैं अभिषेक। वैसे I have seen personally attended a lot of shows of yours. देखा है मैंने मॉडल्स को हंसते मुस्कुराते हुए कैसे वो ड्रेसअप कर रहे हैं, फिर उनको रैंप पे लाया जा रहा है। सो यार ये बताना ऑनेस्टली, अगेन पता नहीं तू बताएगा नहीं बताएगा, लेकिन प्लीज बताना कोशिश करना. मॉडल्स टैंट्रम्स थ्रो करते हैं?
I've noticed one thing: the matured, the supermodels or the models who have been there in the industry actually don't throw tantrums. It's the new ones, newbies who are just entering the industry and think no end of themselves. They are the ones who actually have these tantrums or kind of high-nosed.
आई थिंक इट्स एवरीवेयर ना अभिषेक. जो मुझे सुन रहे हैं इस वक्त पॉडकास्ट हो, वो किसी भी इंडस्ट्री में काम कर रहे हो, आप देखना ये जो जेंजीज वाले हैं ना, नहीं आई एम नॉट कोई पिन पॉइंट नहीं कर रही हूँ मैं बीइंग अ मिलेनियल, लेकिन आजकल के लोग काफी मुफट होते हैं. ब्रेव आई कॉल इट. एनीवे, बढ़ती हूँ आगे और लेट्स टॉक अबाउट ये मेरा फेवरेट टॉपिक है. एवरीवन बिकमिंग फैशन डिजाइनर. फेसबुक पे इनके कपड़े देख देख के, व्हाट्सएप के स्टोरीज पे इनके कपड़े देख देख के, मतलब मैं क्या बताऊं. What would you like to say about that?
I think everybody is a designer nowadays, so every house has got a boutique, to be very honest with you. I can say they are themselves self-trained designer, or even I think the institutes are also become not so exclusive that everybody's getting a certificate or a degree from any of the fashion colleges. At our time, we had to actually sit for an entrance exam and get admitted. There's a lot of hard work to become a fashion designer, and everybody trying to be a designer actually bringing down the term designer.
सुना तुमने सो कॉल्ड फैशन डिजाइनर दोस्त. देखो मैं ना कोई ताना नहीं कस रही हूँ, बट आई एम जस्ट सेइंग. एनीवे, बढ़ते हैं आगे. और अभिषेक, एक चीज है जो तुम्हारे साथ हमेशा होता है, जब भी तुम कोई बड़ा शो या फिर शो कर रहे होते हो, तुम्हारे शो के टाइम पे थोड़ा ना कुछ गड़बड़ जरूर हो जाता है. लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दैट गड़बड़ थिंग.
There's a thing which is related to my show. Every time I plan a show, there's a rainfall. So that's customary. I think everybody knows. Even in the winter time when we were showcasing outdoors, it started raining out of the blue. But one show which I think long time back, we were doing a Blenders Pride fashion tour, and there was a show which was planned out in one of the hotels outdoor, like a poolside venue. There was like a proper thunderstorm and like a rainfall. So we had to cancel the entire thing and push it with just a presentation at the banquet. So I feel that's not doing justice to the show. So that's the one show which I remember was completely destroyed because of the rainfall.
Oh yes, Barish and your shows, but you always pull off. That's the power of Abhishek Dutta. चलिए, अब let's talk about the model friends. Abhishek, you have lots of friends, but these models जो आपके लिए walk भी करती हैं और आपकी बहुत अच्छी दोस्त भी हैं.
I think when we started off, it was an era of the supermodels. People like couple of my very favorite models, like a Pia Trivedi and a Sheetal Malhar, Carol Gracious. These are the favorite names of which I've seen and grown up. Even Noinika Chatterjee, for an instance. I think not 3-4 of them were like my favorites.
दोस्त, एक lower middle class लड़की बात कर रही है, और I would really like to highlight the prices, the cost of these big brands, the designers. अफोर्डेबल तो दूर की बात है, सपने में नहीं आने देते हमको ये कपड़े. यार, इसके बारे में क्या बोलना चाहोगे?
See, a designer brand's price is depicted by its popularity, and the brands like Manish Malhotra or a Chanel or a Dior or even a Sabyasachi, obviously they can quote their price because they have created a brand which people kind of aspire to be in. So why not take your price as long as your brand is popular? I feel as long as people are ready to pay, why not charge it?
So before I let you go, Abhishek, from this podcast, मेरे शेरदिल दोस्त, we know that you are an established brand. तुमने मेहनत करी, तुमने अपना नाम बना लिया है. So how do you carry on, like humbleness maintain करते हुए? How are you maintaining the brand? How are you continuing to grow and shine? जो एक तरह से सभी के लिए मैसेज भी हो जाएगा. Please tell us about that.
It's a constant struggle also. Like even after you achieve get into Fashion Week, it's not so easy. Keeping check on the finishing to handling the karigars. Though you become a brand, the struggle is a constant factor in a designer's life.
क्या बात है. Thank you for a great work, Abhishek. Keep making all of us look amazing the way you do. And keep rocking. मिलेंगे शेरदिल के अगले एपिसोड में. तब तक के लिए, of course, www.friendsdigital.com आपके लिए है ना. Enjoy.